Hi, I'm Kylie Anne Neal, founder of Kan Culture, and welcome to Kan Talk Kulture. In this podcast, I sit down with some of Australia's most progressive founders and CEOs to explore the heart of their company cultures, what drives them, what they value, and what it's really like to work for the companies they lead. You'll also find occasional episodes packed with practical HR insights to help you build safer, stronger, and more trusted workplaces. So whether you're a new team member getting to know your workplace, curious about creating remarkable company cultures, or just wanting to know more about implementing HR best practice, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Kan Talk Kulture podcast. I'm Kylie Anne Neal, your host, and today I have a magnificent CEO to speak to. This CEO is full of energy, and from the first moment that we connected, we sent a couple of emails back and forth, and the energy that this woman puts in her email and communication, I was like, I actually have a very professional crush on this woman. She just oozes energy and she has had an absolutely remarkable career. And I am so very honoured for her to be joining me today for this podcast. So I would like to introduce you to Heather McLellan-Johnson. Heather, welcome to the Kan Talk Kulture podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Well done.
It's a real pleasure to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really privileged. It's lovely to see you.
So tell us about who Heather is. You've had a very commendable background, and the position that you're at the moment as CEO, you also sit on some boards and you also do quite a bit of volunteer work and doing your MBA. So tell us who you are, Heather.
I think I'm a bit of a basket case, really. I have just completed my AICD course, and so I'm able to put the G in front, graduated AICD, so that's a really big thing. It was very difficult and something not taken lightly, so I'm really proud of that.
Congratulations. What does AICD?
So that's the Australian Institute of Company Directors.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's really it's a big ask to kind of go in and do the actual exam. There's an exam and two other parts of the exam and assignment and whatnot. And it's such a crucial part of being any director in Australia to make sure that you've tick-boxed everything that you need to actually be on a board and govern that board in a healthy manner. And then I'm 2 papers away from completing my MBA after all these years, which is pretty great. Yeah. So putting that academic mark next to my name. So fingers crossed in October I should graduate.
Fantastic.
Very proud. Even just to get to this point, I'm very proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
And what about, you work in the medical industry. So tell us about your background in the medical industry.
Yeah. So I started 38 years ago, which means I started around 10, obviously. In the medical industry, I was in America for 10 years. I've got American roots. Then moved to Australia in 99 and just started tapping into Australian medical primary care, so general practice. And then moved to a couple of corporates. Then in one of the corporates, I moved up to a state position. I had 29 medical centres and a breast cancer operation in Sydney. And then from there, I just kind of voted with my feet out of corporate land and decided to get cracking in my own domain. So am founder for Medical on Miami, then grew to Medical on Burleigh, and then have further grown to Medical on Robina. Of course, with medical directors as well, I definitely am not medicine. I'm non-clinical. So, of course, a founder with someone at Medical in Miami, and then just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, and then this time really wanting to do things the way that I saw was more healthy for not just the community at large, but also the community inside, the internal, and what makes us hopefully different to other general practice operations.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, that's pretty much where things come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing that is highlighted on your LinkedIn, also on the website of your businesses, is that very human focused approach.
Yeah.
This is a culture podcast. So talk me through the key elements when you went from your corporate role to become a founder and CEO of now 3 medical centres. Talk to me about what that element of being human-centred meant to you then, and what has stayed with you since the time. 2018 was when the first medical centre started,
2018,
was it?
that's
2018?
right. Yeah.
So,
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who
Good
would have
timing. Yeah. In my career as not an owner, as not a founder, I witnessed many things that made me think, that could just be done better. Really. Like if I, when you sort of sit around with a dream, if I owned this, I'd be doing this. And then, you get a bit self-righteous as well. If I owned this, none of this would ever happen. But actually, as you kind of, get older, you start really seeing things in patterns. I kind of started to eke out, no, really, if I own something, this is how I would have it. And, my North Star, I think it's on my LinkedIn page, my North Star is humans first always. Because really, what else is there? We might have some nice paint on the walls, some nice chairs, and quite honestly, that's something that I really love about opening up a practice is how beautiful I can make it so the people in and out, the wider community really gets that feeling to know that when they come in that they're cared for, and so do the staff and contractors in those rooms. They think, this is a great place to spend 90% of my life, So I want them to feel that way as well.
Yeah.
So that is like even in the furnishings and the colours, and, I did not do this alone. I've had amazing directors that have assisted with colours and fabrics and, all that sort of stuff. But having that North Star of human first always for myself, those are the things that eke into the design of the place.
Yes.
And then non-material, we think about culture and practice. And, some of the things that I've seen out in the wide world, they're not human first always.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, I'm always drawn to behaviour.
Yes.
So really the cornerstone of how I lead is human behaviour and how that's translated into culture.
Yes.
And when we talk about human behaviour, there can be no distinction between someone who's academically pursuant of their career and therefore holds some kind of degree with noms after their name. There can be no difference in their behaviour to the cleaner that we have who does not have any noms after their name but is kind and caring.
Yes.
And respectful.
Yes.
Like those things have to be synonymous with everyone in the business. And if they're not for us. They're just not for us. And, it can be a really complicated and difficult conversation to have because I'm the big money maker. I bring in X amount of dollars into this company. I don't care.
Yes.
Because from that person's behaviour, look at attrition. Look at how much money it costs us to hire somebody else who's not going to listen to that behaviour. They're not going to be in that room with that person.
Yes.
We start getting estrangement in the rooms. No one wants to go talk to them because they're so disenfranchised. Whatever this is, it is that's going on.
And I would assume that being medical practices, you're there to service the community. So, that community care at the essence of the way that the community feels when they walk through the door. And, because I often see it, you get particular industries that are very technically able and the technical expertise is absolutely paramount. Like it needs to be outstanding.
Absolutely.
But when you also need that human side and that behavioural element to be outstanding as well, you are sometimes talking about very different skill sets. And, I think traditionally it was, I remember working with a whole bunch of engineers and, there'd be two pathways, the really technical side of it and then the leadership and more human side, more team side of it. And that was with engineers. But when you're dealing with medical professionals, like the technical expertise and the behavioural expertise so that they can deal with community must be so on point.
Yeah, it really, really needs to be. And because when we think about community, we've got to think about internal community and external community. So internal community would be all staff and contractors. And so the way that every person coming into the business needs to fake, act, be easily, however it comes in, that behaviour every single day needs to reflect in a healthy manner. Because in community, if we are cohesive in community, the internal community, then we can do nothing but exemplify to the external community. And I'm not saying that people don't have a bad day. I often will come in and just tell the crew, hey, look, I'm having a rough day. Actually, yesterday was a perfect example. I messaged my crew and I said, I'm struggling this morning. I will be in as soon as I can. And, it was like 9:04. It wasn't, 11 o'clock. I'm struggling today, but they already knew I was in struggle. And there's no shame in that. And that's really important. I'm in struggle. So I knew that I needed to keep to my office. I needed to do the things that I could do with good capacity only and probably not have a lot of conversations with people. I wasn't going to be at my best. I can fake it really, really well. I can attempt to be at my best, but I'm actually not going to be at my best. So my crew is already aware of where I'm sitting when I come in. So I'm not going to come in and go, oh, how come my damn coffee's not there? Like that's totally inappropriate. But, and actually get your own damn coffee. But, like at least I'm not going to be acting like that, that kind of thing.
And what mechanisms do you put around the team? Because if you have the clinical staff, you have the ability to go, okay, I need to do office work, I need to do administration, and I need to not engage because I need some focus time because that's what I need to do today. There are staff within the medical centres who are very, very customer facing. They need to be able to show up with that safety, that trust and that care for the time that they're at work. So are there particular mechanisms that you put in place within your practices that you think might be a little bit different to other medical centres?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, the 2IC is a watchdog. So they watch administration on floor. And when a particular administrator has had multiple calls that are poor behaviour from, say, patients, they need to go and get themselves a 10-minute breather or a 5-minute breather or just a walk around the block or something, So they're at liberty to say you need to go and have a pause. And then we can even do things like, hey, CEO, way in the back, we need help on desk. And of course, I never get called often, to be fair. I never get called often. But there's people even before me, my executive assistant, the COO, the general manager, they'll jump out because everybody needs help. It's a little bit more difficult when you have nursing, issues with nursing teams because I can't swap out with a nurse. But what I could do, or anybody clerical, administrative, is we could do things like, can I get you, while that nurse takes a breather, what can I get you, nurse? What can I get, how can I help, nurse? We can do the non-clinical running or something that needed doing like that. So we've got little catch-alls like that.
Yeah,
whether
amazing.
they take advantage of it or not, I don't monitor that. That's for the lead the lead nurse to monitor.
Yeah.
Then, of course, with doctors, we have little mini breaks, catch-up breaks.
You've actually built a culture in one of the most high-pressure industries there is.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
I just sit in my office.
Well done. Fine. But what does that look like in your clinics? And from speaking with you and from the words that you use in your LinkedIn on the websites, like, as I said, I just absolutely love your energy, and
girl crush.
I have like total girl crush.
Same. Same. Look at you go, HR, the most difficult industry in the world.
Yes. But what does that, I would assume that because of the way that you are and, your energy and the people that you would attract into the organization as well would sit within that appreciation of your energy with doing things a little bit different from a profession perspective. Who are the type of people that you attract into your medical centres, and why do they work so well?
The type of GPs that we have coming into our centres to work are excellent at their clinical skills, but more importantly, like excellent at their clinical skills is kind of baseline. Like you actually need to be a great doctor. Like I think that's evident to do with their degree. They've passed an incredible amount of exams that there's no way that they could become a fellow, unless they hit those marks. So, hats off to their academic journey. But what we really look for when we're interviewing is those behavioural nuanced inflections that they come in and chat about. For example, say a doctor wants to come in and they don't want to show their CV, or if they don't want to let us know who might be a reference for them. A lot of GPs think you don't need a reference. I'm a GP, but it's really
okay.
Yeah, it's not normal. Yeah, but it's really imperative because we need to know how you acted. Not that you didn't kill anyone.
Yes.
But how did you act?
Yes.
And we also want to hear from clinic crew. We don't just want to hear from their colleagues, right? Like peer-to-peer, people appear quite excellent, right? But how were you towards people who worked with you? Were you all over the place? Were you rude? Were you snippy? Did you have tantrums?
Yeah.
How. So we really want to know about the behavioural, because the behavioural stuff is so important, that either you're bringing in a problem and signing an agreement with a problem, or you're bringing somebody that's so outstanding that you never want them to leave.
Yes.
And, the wealth of their personality comes in.
Yes.
And that permeates through the rest of the culture, and then the culture shifts and changes and grows.
Yes.
Those are the people that we're looking for. It's not good enough to just go, I'm a GP. It isn't.
Yeah.
You've got to have, and I don't mean 24/7, you've got to be incredible. We all have our bad days, as I have said, but being able to voice that and just go, having a rough day.
Yes.
If anybody cancels, please don't add it in.
Yes.
Like all of that kind of self-management.
Yes.
I think is. And then for crew that come on board, medical administrators and registered and endorsed nurses, enrolled nurses, that's exactly what we're looking for as well. Skills-wise, great. Tick box, tick box, tick box. But behavioural, That's what we're looking for. Those are the clinical linchpins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what doesn't work for your clinic?
Demanding, egocentric, the lack of politeness, the lack of kindness, even to themselves. You know, it's really important that someone's really kind to themselves.
Yes.
I'm having a rough day today.
Yes.
Before I got here, I'm having a rough day. I'm now going to switch into medical administrator role, but the one that just keeps carrying the monkey on their back, it permeates the whole feeling of the whole centre throughout that day. They just need to be healthy reflectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult subset of human beings. Well, actually, it is the majority.
Yeah.
It is the majority of human beings that I've encountered. They have that internal voice. They are self-reflective, and some are incredibly so. When I think about quite a few doctors, it's and crew, you know, they're outstanding. And the ones that aren't, they're not here for longevity. They're just, they don't work out usually.
Yeah. I mean, I'll share an experience that my partner actually had with my son when he was unwell, and it wasn't at one of your centres, but this was just an experience that we had within our family. And my partner took my son to the doctors, and the doctor said to him, I'm going to prescribe you, antibiotics or whatever they were. But make sure your son doesn't go around anybody that's pregnant. And my partner was like, if you're prescribing something to me for my child that can't go around anybody that's pregnant, do you think I would give that to my child?
Good question,
and it was
right?
so he's come home and we didn't give it to our child because we were like, why would we? If this isn't safe for our child to be around someone that's pregnant, why would we give our child this course of medication? And you could tell that the medical practitioner was doing it, you know, by the book.
Yes.
But he didn't understand that he was talking to a father that was here with a young child.
Yes. God, I wonder what that was. I don't even know what, that's how non-clinical I am. I don't even know what that might be. Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was just the delivery, but it just sounded like the doctor.
Scary.
Very scary, but it sounded like the doctor was, you know, probably, you know, just doing what his job was, which was, you know, to choose the right prescription for the symptoms that we're presenting and then providing the solution to it. But it was kind of, you know, it just felt very, very kind of clinical and medical without that human community side to it. If you're speaking to a father with a young child, talking about prescribing something and that he can't be around pregnant people.
Yeah, wow.
So, you know, it's that kind of, you know, technical mindset where that's over technical.
Yes.
And it's not.
And thank God that doctor said that, because actually it's true. Like, they have to disclose those sorts of things. But, in that context, I don't understand. I don't understand.
No, we didn't, but we didn't give it to us. But we also didn't,
but he's well.
We also didn't go back to that clinic either, because you know, it was kind of like it was just quite an awkward conversation, and it just felt like really disconnected from that community side to technical expertise. You know, there was just a massive disconnect there. Look, at the clinic, you know, yes, there is your doctors and your nurses, but if we look at it from, you know, it's kind of the administration, you know, could almost be seen like the engine room to be able to enable good doctors and good nurses to do what they do beautifully for the community every day. What types of things from a culture perspective for you as a leader, as the CEO and leader, how would you describe your style, and how do you like to lead the team?
My style, I think, I like to get on the same level as the person I'm speaking to. So I'm not going to come at someone and talk about governance and risk and, if they have no, conversational parameters around that. I'm not going to do that because that's just, what are you talking about? I really like to, I really like to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I like everybody to understand that how important they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single piece of every department is intrinsic to how we run a 9-hour day or a 10-hour day.
Yes.
Every single thing, every single hour, how they turn up. So I like to make sure, and maybe I'm not good at it, I'm not sure, but I like people to know that they're welcome. You are welcome into this company. You are welcome into my office.
Yes.
You are welcome to have an offside conversation.
Yes.
And they're also welcome to give me the bad news.
Yes.
Like I got some bad news this morning. We got a 1-star rating on Google, and when I looked at that review, and I look at every review, when I looked at the review, I was like, actually, we've fallen over in 2 spots that could have really helped the doctor execute their work. And so, I had conversations with the right people. It's not their fault. We just need to lift that corner. We just need to go, you know what? This would be better and this would be better. So that's all. Like we're constantly finessing. Yeah. And I like to be able to have conversations where it's not your fault. How can we be better? And for them to know that there's no shame in trying to be better. Like shame is such a big conversation, right?
Yeah.
Such a big conversation.
Yeah.
If you ever need to go to somebody and say, hey, this wasn't great. It's this item that we're discussing wasn't great. Not you are intrinsically a bad person.
Yes.
You made this happen. That's not at all what I'm ever talking about.
Yes.
That those are 2 distinct. I just hope that people understand that is what I'm trying to say. And, this brings us to another thing as well, that there are a lot of people who have left our business, or hopefully there's not a lot of people, but in 8 years, there will definitely be people that won't like us. And I think that's actually quite healthy.
Yes.
And usually when I think about the people who have left us, while they believe that they may believe that they are right in how they wanted something or believe they deserved something, it may not have been for the good of the whole. And when it's not for the good of the whole, including one of the largest shareholders, like if I do something that is not for the good of the whole, to me, that's not good enough. So everybody has to have that mind thing. And that is often why people leave, because they wanted something. We couldn't give it to them because it wasn't for the good of the whole. So, if I can think of the main reason why we might have let people go or people might have left our business, it generally comes down to that. One of our guiding principles is equity, and that's what I think about equity. It's not for the good of the whole.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's if I look at that from a HR perspective, it's it can be quite a sensitive line sometimes.
Yeah.
And you think about employees within the workplace, and that I personally feel that, sometimes employees, if there's a bit of friction that starts to snowball for them, either personally or professionally, and then if they're not getting their needs met, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big believer in know what your needs are
Yeah.
and know how to ask for them.
Yeah.
And that's our human right.
Yeah.
You know, being able to be vulnerable, have a growth mindset, not
Yeah.
be egotistical, you know,
Yes.
be empowered to show up as the version of your best self.
Yeah.
Every day, whatever that best self looks like
Yeah.
for that day. You know, we
Yeah.
were talking before we came on that perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, that's me.
You know, and being able to celebrate that and give space for the vulnerability, give space for, you know, you spoke about shame, but give space to surface that exploration of shame, I think is a real nuance that you've spoken about that a lot of organizations don't address, and they don't allow that space to have those conversations of this isn't sitting well with me, but I can't quite work out why.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
it's like people need to be able to like get into the guts of their heart and really explore things when there are frictions in the workplace. We're conditioned to behave in a certain way at work, and shame in a traditional landscape has no place.
Yeah.
So, you know, the fact that you celebrate the exploration of shame, I think is really, really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get through that? You know, I think we're only as sick as our secrets. So how do you get through? How do you get through that shame?
Yeah.
You know, it hijacks us.
Yes.
So often.
We're only as sick as our secrets.
Yeah.
I love that, particularly coming from a CEO of 3 medical centres. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I want to touch on something that we were talking about a bit offline, and that's the approach to neurodiversity within your medical centres. Yeah. Big topic, and, you know, from a assessment perspective, you know, I see it in the schools with my son being in primary school and, you know, in adults as well. You see it, just the acceleration of assessments and namings of neurodiverse conditions.
Yeah.
Talk me through what you do within your medical practices.
Yeah, so I had to we've got a couple of doctors that are really into neurodiversity, and they're just so learned. It's very hard to put a time around me talking to them. Because I'm like, before you go, one more, 100 more questions. I just have 100 more questions. But what I understand from a non-clinical brain is that people with neurodiversity walk through the world just like people who are not neurodiverse, but they carry this insurmountable, invisible bag of thoughts, noise, weight. I'm not sure what's in the bag. It's probably different for everybody, but they carry it all day long. So while a non-neurodiverse person may be able to do a 100-meter sprint, well, for me to be like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, I don't know how long it's going to be a long time. I might need to have a coffee in between. A person with neurodiversity is also dragging behind this bag, right, with them all day long. And I mean all day, from like the moment their brain wakes up to the moment their brain goes to sleep. So they're dragging this bag along. And what I wanted to figure out as a CEO is if I have crew that are carrying and dragging along this bag and trying to integrate this into job performance as we see it right now, how can we be better at assisting them? So I had this really great conversation with somebody recently who said that, because crew are starting to say, hey, I'm neurodiverse. I just wanted to let you, I'm neurodiverse.
Yes.
I've just been diagnosed. I'm neurodiverse. And that's fantastic, because how are we going to know, right?
Yes.
Like, they don't have to say that, but it's great that they're able to say that.
Yes.
And, you know, and I don't care if they're medicated or not medicated. It's not my business. But I'm really proud of them to even walk down that journey if they're questioning.
Yes.
So then when they come back and they say, hey, yeah, like, oh, my God, you know, give every bit of medication to, like whatever, some funny stories. But anyway, I had a staff member come to me and say, you know what I really need is at the end of conversations, I need to regroup and I need you to tell me what we talked about in bullet point. So we talked about X, Y, and Z, and so is going to be the carrier of that. That person is going to be the person who executes, or it's A, B, C, and I'm executing.
Yes.
They need that drawback. Well, if that works for them, what the hell's wrong with putting that in conversations?
Yes. Yeah.
Of course. I'm more than happy. And everybody else, if they're happy to share that, everybody else should do the same thing in kind.
Yes.
Hey, Brian, the person's name, not Brian. Hey, Brian, just to circle back, X, Y, Z, and Matilda, there's no one called Matilda. Matilda will be executing this.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that? Good. Done. 2 seconds makes a huge difference. They can take out a couple of those bricks, right, out of their bag.
Yep.
And then we can evolve.
Yeah.
I think that's just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think neurodiversity within workplaces is something that is still very much being explored, and I think the disclosure of neurodiversity within the organisations that I work with, I think there's more and more employees that are, very very welcomed to disclose their neurodiversity.
Right.
But I think from organisations' perspective, being able to respond or being able to understand. It's not even about the I wouldn't call them modifications or adjustments, but being able to put accommodating work practices in place that are equal for everybody. Because you look at that example, that's giving some that would be beneficial not to just those that are neurodiverse, but to the whole team.
Absolutely.
They'll be like, oh yeah, we went on this conversation and the discussion went from here to here to here, but where did we get to? A, B, C.
Especially when you talk about things in design.
Yes.
Like patient experience. Like when we think about design of patient experience and we have these big organic conversations, I'm friggin' lost.
Yeah.
Let alone somebody who has a neurodiversity, like
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that can just be part of minute taking or something.
Yes.
But, even in those off-side conversations, just to make a mental note, this person needs recap. What's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is the landscape that's coming.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not going back to no diversity. So what I mean is we are not tolerating neurodiversity.
No.
I don't want to be tolerating. I want to be welcoming.
Yes.
And inviting and involving.
Yes.
So, gone is that noise.
Yes.
It's actually quite similar to actual like racial diversity. We're not tolerating people from another race. We are welcoming.
Yes.
Like if you look at who's in our rooms, there are so many different cultures.
Yes.
So many different colours.
Yes.
Can you imagine only looking at one colour flower for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
How boring.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We have amazing human beings from all different cultures, all different foods, all different dance.
Yeah. Diversity of experience is what makes the richness.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what we love.
Amazing. Yeah. And I think with neurodiversity as well, welcoming I want to just kind of link it into shame that we spoke about earlier, because, I think before this like surgence of acceptability and diagnoses of particularly in adults, like adult ADHD, I don't know what the figures are, but it's been astronomical.
Pretty massive. Yep.
Astronomical.
Yeah.
But, being a little bit different or not feeling like they fit into traditional workplaces. And now, neurodiversity is a lot more welcomed. I think from what I see though, I have had some experiences with employees that are neurodiverse that have expectations of workplaces that they haven't articulated. And I feel like, it's a call out for individuals who are neurodiverse to have that space to be, it's okay, but we need to have a conversation about
Yeah.
what your needs are and how you get your needs met in the workplace. Again, massive believer of that.
Yeah.
Without just, kind of sitting back and going, well, my expectations are that you accommodate me, because neurodiversity, it does look different, from my experience with it does look different for everybody. And the way that a workplace accommodates it would look different for every workplace. So
that's exactly right.
I think it needs to be a really open conversation of, what are your needs?
Yeah.
What do you need from us? What do, from a HR perspective, how can we accommodate the people practices?
That's exactly right.
And how can we form people practices? Again, sorry, I use the word accommodating. It's not accommodating. How do we form the people practices that are inclusive of what our workplace is at the moment?
Yeah. I think I would disclose my own frailties.
Yes.
And say, I'm not equipped to understand this yet.
Yeah.
But I try to be world embracing.
Yes.
So please tell me,
and
those care factors, actually, just the simple care factor.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a nuanced thing, right? Like, you could have somebody that approaches it like, yeah, okay, so you have autism, what do you need? That's really different. That's not a sentiment from the heart. It has to be a sentiment from the heart.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You
are a human here in our workplace.
Yes.
What are your needs?
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually quite a simple question, right?
Yes.
But it's got to, the asker has to have that firmly seated in their heart that they are actually asking authentically.
Yes.
That's really quite pivotal.
Yes.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just going to be greenwashing or whitewashing or whatever the washing is today. We're going to be diverse washing. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
There's no shift.
Yes.
And then what happens? It ends up being the people who have neurodiversity that have already been blindsided by culture saying, oh, you're just odd, who embed that shame, who are not able to articulate, hey, I'm a bit different.
Yes.
Could you accommodate? It's always going to be from their voice.
Yes.
And why does it have to be?
Yeah.
If we already have the standard that we openly accept and are openly actually eager to learn, well, we're almost limitless, really.
Yeah. You know? And from a leadership perspective, I could really talk about this for a really long time, because I think it's so important, because it does come down to that fundamental human-centered. And, if I again speak at it from a HR perspective, having onboarding check-ins with people. How are you going? Is the culture supporting you? Is it what you expected?
I'm so glad to see that you're back for your second day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah. And it feeds through to, performance reviews or one-on-one check-ins, just checking in with that individual, neurodiverse or not, just, are your needs being met at this workplace?
Yeah.
It needs to be a regular conversation, but sometimes leaders can get busy, or they can go, I don't know, I know nothing about neurodiversity, I'm not educated on it, so I'm just going to leave it at the door. It's not good leadership.
Yeah, and that could be a different kind of, like a CEO. Just trying to think, there can be CEOs who are not in leadership. They speak the company line, but they're not in actual leadership. I don't have a huge enough company to not be in some kind of leadership role.
I love that.
Yeah, I think I've been in big corporates though, where there is that disconnect, and that's
the ivory castle, so to speak.
Yeah. And while quite often I can actually look like I'm sitting in an ivory tower, and sometimes I've even felt that way. It really just does take me to get my ass out of my seat. And go and have chats in rooms. It really is,
But that's telling of your leadership style, though, because that's a choice. That's
It is a choice.
That's a
It is
choice.
a
That's a
choice.
choice that
Yeah.
you make, regardless of
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if there was a CEO listening today that could take one thing and implement it into their workplace tomorrow to make culture better, what would you give as your one little nugget of joy for someone that's sitting in a CEO position?
Any CEO, big or small, I think find your North Star.
Mm-hmm.
Like mine is human first always.
Yes.
Find your North Star and make sure that your North Star includes a value you hold, right?
What is your value?
So my value is that there must be justice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big value for me
Mm-hmm.
because in justice, there's equity.
Mm-hmm.
We are not the same. We're not cut from the same cloth. We don't come with the same baggage. But in equity, we lift others together. So maybe equity
Mm-hmm.
is my underpinning value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And along the same lines, but if you had a new starter, somebody that was starting in the clinic this morning, what would be your key message to them?
Yeah, so I've got this really great thing that I hold on to, and actually I was blessed that I spat this story out to my sons, and together they created this perfect little. I was like, oh my God, what did you say? And I wrote it down, and this is something that sits with me as well when I think about the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll read it.
Okay.
We create holistic and welcoming spaces that serve communities by providing a unified approach. So that's all of the teams, no matter what category they're in, that is innovative.
Mm-hmm.
We always try to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Collaborative, respectful, and equitable.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, we could be much more innovative, but that's not equitable because we don't have $1 million for R&D today. You know, that kind of thing. So it's and perhaps where the money is better spent is in lifting the wage limit, the salaries that we're paying right now, or who knows, maybe we can offer more vacation times or something like that. Like it's got to be for the whole.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not all about company dividends.
Yeah.
There's really low margins in general practice.
Yeah.
Company dividends are not for medical centres, company dividends is not why people should enter the business. You want to make sure that it runs, I wouldn't say lean, because you want those plush nuances and they cost money.
Yeah.
But again, you're pushing for the whole.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that
And the
makes a
whole
big
experience.
difference.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
My final question that I asked all of my guests,
Mm-hmm.
if your medical clinics were a song,
A song.
and
Okay.
let's think of it as the group,
Okay.
if it were a song, what would it be and why?
The song would be, and you're going to have to listen to the lyrics, but also the tone. So I really like tone and words and things that are tactile. But anyway, the song would be Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful by Snoop Dogg.
Beautiful by Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And what's a lyric that stands out for you in that song?
Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl.
Oh,
So that's what I think
yes.
about. Like every centre is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
every person, whether they're a girl or boy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But every person, I think, has got some special quality. And, I don't get along with everybody. People don't like me. It's quite normal. It's completely normal. But yeah, I like to try and find some sparkling gem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
And in the whole company, I think you're my favourite girl.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Heather.
you.
Well, I like you. I love you. As I said, professional crush. I think you've got an absolutely dynamic energy about you.
That's
and,
so kind.
you know, I really do wish you and the team all the best.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for joining the Kan Talk Kulture episode today. It's been a great one. I feel like we've taken a few twists and turns, but it's been a really amazing conversation. And if any of you would like to get in touch with me from a HR perspective or get in touch with Heather, you're very welcome to do so. You can contact me by looking at the canculture.com website, or you can contact Heather by
the HMS Medical Group website.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me on Kan Talk Kulture. I'm Kylie Anne Neal. I hope today's episode gave you a clearer view into the values driving your workplace, or sparked new ideas about building a remarkable company culture. If you're a founder or CEO interested in sharing your culture story, or if you're looking to build a safer, stronger, and more trusted workplace, let's connect. Visit canculture.com. That's KANKULTURE.com to learn more. Please hit that subscribe button to hear more real conversations with founders and CEOs and hands-on episodes full of people-first culture advice. I look forward to connecting with you on our next episode.